All right, welcome back to Morning Coffee on the Radio Vision Network. I am Mark Cook, and we got to do a sports update right now because we got a lot going on in the world of sports, right? So last night, more MLB action going on. We got the World Cup of Hockey. I think we got a game tonight. We got football happening. So I'm bringing up the Skype line right now. His name is Neil Villapiano. He is the host of the MVP show here on the Radio Vision Network every Saturday morning. Good morning, Neil, and welcome to Morning Coffee.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing well. So let's, what do you want to start with? You want to talk about the Dolphins and the Bengals tonight?
Yeah, let's talk about them. So we got an interesting matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins tonight on Thursday Night Football. You can catch them on NFL Network. That's the national television network for this game. What you have is you have another preview of some color rush uniforms. The Bengals wearing an all-white uniform, but still with the orange helmet, and the Dolphins wearing pretty much an all-teal uniform with a white helmet. And honestly, like, the color rush uniforms for several of these teams are good, but a lot of them are not, like the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not really wild about them, but, you know, I don't really know how they're going to continue to do this in the next couple of years when they do color rush, but we'll have to wait and see. But looking at the game, you're going to have a pretty much, in my opinion, a wide-open offensive game like you saw on Monday night between the Saints and the Falcons. With quarterbacks Ryan Tannehill of the Dolphins and Andy Dalton of the Bengals, you're going to have those two teams who have pretty good offenses with some talented wide receivers open it up and really try to get the ball down the field and score some points.
Yeah, you know what? I'll be honest, Neil. I'm not really looking forward to this matchup. I watched Cincinnati and Miami play last weekend, and man, we're talking about two teams that really need a lot of help. And I just checked the line. The Bengals are favored by 7.5 points, and it seems like a lot. Now they're at home, but what's going on there? That seems like kind of like a sucker type line.
Well, I mean, I think it has to do with the fact that both these teams are not off to the world's greatest start. They don't have the greatest expectations, and I totally agree with you. I don't think a lot of people are going to be watching this game. I was speaking with a few people yesterday, and they were saying the same thing. Why in the world would they put two teams like Cincinnati and Miami on Thursday Night Football? They should have teams like the Colts, the Patriots, the Steelers, the Broncos, all the big-time teams. But it really has to do with also the scheduling of how NFL teams do it nowadays. And also, just because these two teams are not that good doesn't mean that when they play each other, it's not going to be a good game. So we'll have to wait and see how these two teams play tonight.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of have this thing where I want the Thursday night game to go away. I'm sorry. I know that people just want more and more football, but let college have Thursday night and Saturday, and the NFL have Sunday and Monday. Why did we have to force an NFL game on Thursday? Because, you know, you made a good point. It should be the best teams. It should be the good teams, but you didn't mention any of the NFC East teams. Because let me tell you, I hate it when the Eagles play on Thursday night. It stinks.
I mean, I totally agree with you. You know, the NFL obviously is going to win out over college football on those Thursdays because a lot of the games that are on Thursday night are not totally big, but they are interesting. I mean, we have a game coming up between Stanford, who's number 7 in the country, and Washington, who's number 10. And that's a Thursday night game. That's going to be huge.
That should be a good game.
So it really should be a good game. And so I think the only time you should have a game on Thursday is that either we're getting close to Christmas time or just before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
that is the only 2 Thursdays I think you should have a game. Other than that, I don't really see it. I mean, like I said before, it's all about scheduling.
Yeah, that was a great idea. That's a great point. That's when that game can work around the holidays when people are home and they want to watch stuff like that around the holidays. I mean, listen, I think that we'd be very foolish to think that the NFL is going to get rid of that Thursday night game. They're not going to. They still make money off it. There's still a TV contract involved in it. You know, you mentioned the NFL Network. You can actually stream the Thursday night game on Twitter. They do the live. I didn't even realize that. You can watch the Thursday night football game on the internet. It's the NFL is a money machine, Neil, and I don't think that I can change the world by myself.
Nobody can.
So let's switch gears real quick and go to baseball because I'm finally coming to grips with the fact that I think that the Mets are going to sneak into that wild card spot and kind of and kind of be the other team from I was going to say the NFC, the NFC East, but the East there. It looks like the Nationals and the Mets are going to make it. So what do you think about the Mets' chances?
I think the Mets' chances are good. Obviously, we have about 3 or 4 games left in the regular season. But really, it's going to come down to, are they going to be a Mets team that choked like they've done in 2007 and 2008? Or are they going to push themselves to get into the playoffs through all the adversity that they've had, losing players like Matt Harvey and Steven Matz and David Wright, and still make the playoffs with a team that's relatively talented, with players like Yoenis Cespedes, Wilmer Flores, and a few other guys. So we'll have to see. And you have to remember, the San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals are right on their tail. They're not very far behind. And the Mets know that if they can finish in the first wild card, they'll be hosting that home game, that one-game playoff. So it's really important for them to try to finish not only making the wild card, but definitely trying to finish as the number 1 wild card team in order to have that home field advantage.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it right now, the Mets, the Giants, and the Cardinals are all kind of jockeying for position in that wild card. I think Pittsburgh's out of it. They're 5 games behind right now. I don't think that they're going to be able to make up that ground. But
Nope.
I think that there's still kind of an issue with the division out west, right? I mean, the Giants still could technically win the division and force the Dodgers into the wild card spot, right?
Right, absolutely. It's gonna be a battle to the end. Honestly, it's gonna be a battle to the last game of the season to see who's gonna finish out on top.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be very interested to see how this goes. And you also got to look at the American League as well and realize that again, it's a close race. Toronto has a 1-game lead over Baltimore for that wild card spot. So we'll just have to wait and see because, like I said, having home field advantage in that 1-game playoff is big. Obviously not so for the Pittsburgh Pirates the last couple of years when they've had the 1-game playoff at home. But you'll have to wait and see. And I know this is kind of funny to think about, but if you think about it, it's 2016 and the San Francisco Giants have a chance to make the playoffs. Now in 2010, 2012, 2014, they've won the World Series. So it seems like every even year, the Giants are poised to win it all. So don't be surprised if the Giants make the playoffs and go pretty far and maybe towards the World Series.
It really is crazy how that has happened and worked out because in the odd years, I think that only in 11 is the only year they made the playoffs, right? They haven't even made the playoffs those other years.
Right, and it's kind of funny how it seems like every even year they're gonna win the World Series. So when the spring trading began, I myself was like, well, I think San Francisco Giants are going to win the World Series. And people were like, why? And I go, because it's an even year. They won in 2010, 2012, and 2014. They're going to win it this year because it's an even year.
Yeah, it was funny. Yesterday I was watching MLB Network. They had the Mariners and Houston. The Astros were on. And the announcers, they were Seattle announcers. They were talking about the American League wildcard scenario that there's actually like kind of one of the scenarios was that a team could play like 4 games in a row and have to travel all of these like different places by the way the wild card finishing off. There would be like a playoff involved for the wild card and then the wild card game, and they'd have to like squeeze all these games in before the actual start of the playoffs, the divisional series. So it's really interesting to watch right now. If you're a baseball fan, now is when you definitely need to be paying attention.
Absolutely. So we'll have to wait and see how everything plays out.
Now, I know you were really sad this week to find out that the Washington Nationals lost their all-star catcher Ramos. What a loss that is, man. The Nationals, they are just so unlucky.
You know, they really are unlucky this year, and it's amazing in the fact that they're still very talented. I mean, Bryce Harper's still playing, Jordan Zimmerman's still playing, Ryan Zimmerman's still playing. They have their top guys still there, so don't be totally shocked that they win the division, that they won the division, and they're in the playoffs. And I actually think they have a legitimate shot of making the World Series.
No chance. No chance. No way. There's no way. Their catcher was awesome behind the plate and on offense this year. The kid that they're putting in has never played before. That's what I heard.
That doesn't mean that the Nationals still can't make it happen. Who would have thought the Mets would have made the World Series last year? Come on.
Oh, all right. That's a good point. Now, I want to mention, last a couple days ago when we were talking, we wanted to talk about the World Cup of Hockey, and we ran out of time. I actually saw a game. It was Canada and Team Canada against Team Europe. They're the finals, right?
That's correct.
So tell me about it.
So basically, like, you have a Cinderella team versus the team that was expected to be there, and what you had in that game was pretty much Canadian dominance. I would say throughout most of that game, Canada really dominated the game. They really played well. They kicked Mofobo, honestly, and they really just proved that Team Europe doesn't really stand a chance. And we'll have to wait to see tonight. As Game 2 is tonight on ESPN, and we'll have to wait and see if Team Europe is going to put up or shut up, because if they lose, then that's it. The World Cup of Hockey is over, and Canada wins the first ever World Cup of Hockey coming back. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm really hoping that Team Europe can push this to a third game and make this a little bit more exciting, because I've read a few articles about some players, not just from Canada or Team Europe or even Team US, that said, honestly, the vibe around the city has not been big. They haven't even filled, even in game 1, they didn't fill the stands for that finals game, and I'm like, that's crazy. I would have definitely gone if I had the chance.
Yeah, it's interesting because the presentation on television and kind of the way they're doing it, it's a really cool thing, but it's hard, man. People just don't get into hockey unless it's NHL playoffs or Olympics. It's weird. It's like kind of like this weird thing that people like hockey, but like they don't like to admit they like hockey, and then if it's out of context, they won't watch it.
Right, and also they're competing with NFL and NHL games. They've had several of those. We've had several preseason games that I think people want to watch that more than they want to watch the World Cup of Hockey. And also, you have to compete with NFL games because they've played a few of these games on a Sunday when most people want to watch their NFL teams.
Yeah.
And they also played a few games on Saturday when they want to watch their favorite college teams play.
Well,
so they're really not getting the views that they want.
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you, a casual fan like me, a casual international hockey fan, I'm a very big Flyers fan, but, I turned the game on. Canada was killing them. They were winning by at least 3 goals. And I was watching a replay of the last goal that was scored. That Zeno Chara, who's like 10 feet tall on skates, he committed like the worst turnover I had ever seen in any level of hockey. And the announcers were like, look, if this is what's going to happen, Team Europe doesn't stand a chance. It's just Team Canada is too good to be able to make mistakes like that. It just you can't win. The way I saw that game, Neil, Team Europe is done. They are done, and they got no shot.
Not so fast. I actually think that Team Europe is going to win tonight. This is somewhat of a bold prediction for me, but I think that Team Europe has enough talent with them, even though they have guys out like Marian Gaborik. I still think that they have a really good shot of winning, and I think that they can surprise some people. If they can score the first goal of the game, I really think that they're going to win, honestly. And even if they don't score, I feel like they're going to go out there and give it everything they have and try to force Canada to play Team Europe's game, not Team Canada's game.
Well, you know what? You're putting me in a bad spot here. Am I going to have to watch this game tonight? Because we're going to have to talk tomorrow morning and preview the weekend. So,
right.
So I'm going to have to watch this thing so that we can talk about it tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. You gotta watch it tonight.
Let me tell you.
Come on, really. Would you rather watch the Thursday night football game, or would you rather watch something that, no offense to the NFL, is a little bit more meaningful at this time?
Well, I don't know, Neil. I'll be honest with you. I at least have a couple fantasy players in the football game, right? I mean, come on.
I got it nice, so don't worry about it.
Listen, let's just hope it's a good game. If I turn it on and it's already 3-0 Canada, I'm out. I'm telling you, I'm out.
Yeah, I know. I might stop watching if it gets out of hand that quickly.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But you can check out Neil Villapiano every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock right here on the Radio Vision Network. It's the MVP show. He covers it all, and you got to check him out. So, Neil, like I said, we'll catch up tomorrow morning. We'll preview the NFL weekend, and we'll talk about what's going down tonight.
And don't forget that Tim Tebow hit a home run yesterday.
Oh, jeez, I knew you were going to bring it up. Tim Tebow, his first at bat in professional baseball, hits a home run.
First
pitch. Unbelievable. How the hell, and I'm saying how the hell did that happen? Because we know that this guy is like a religious fanatic. And it's crazy because his next at bat, I think it was like terrible. It was a terrible at bat. Unbelievable. Now I got to follow Tim Tebow's baseball career. Get out of town. I'm done. I'm done, man. I'm leaving. He's Neil Villapiano. We'll catch him tomorrow, and we'll catch him every Saturday on the MVP show. Thanks for joining us, Neil.
No problem, Mark. Anytime.
All right, cool. Have a good day. I got to take a quick break here on Morning Coffee, and I will be right back here on the Radio Vision Network.
Sub some sizzle. This is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facials, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for?